Alright, so we're going to continue looking at the Unit 4 review, Part 1, adding and subtracting fractions, and now we're going to go ahead and flip over to the back side. Again, I'm going to show you how to do it on the left. I recommend that in between each you pause and complete what you're supposed to do on the right side. Before we begin, please make sure you have the materials you need. You're going to need your homework sheet, a pencil. Now I prefer these number 2 Dixon pencils, but hey, as long as you have a pencil, we're doing pretty good. You are also going to need a sheet of blank paper. I have my scrap paper that I used when I was doing the front side, and now I'm going to utilize that onto the back side. So now we're going to look at the back side, and on the front side we had just completed a missing numerator, and now we're going to do a problem with a missing denominator. Now I think that I have enough space there, but if I felt like I did not, I could do it on a separate sheet of paper. What I do know is that I'm going to put a box in this place for the missing fraction part like I've always done. And I know that I have unlike denominators of 5 and 10. I know that I can create a like denominator of 10 by multiplying my 5 times 2. That's right, 5 times 2 is 10. I'm going to need to do that same thing to my numerator as well. So I'm going to multiply my numerator by 2 as well. So now I'm going to rewrite my equivalent expression. 4 and 2/10, because again 2/10 is equivalent to 1/5, minus 1. Now I'm going to put a box in its place for that missing fraction, is equal to 2. And since this one is already in terms of tenths, I'm just going to drop it down to n 7/10. What I know about adding and subtracting fractions is that all the denominators need to be like. So I'm going to go ahead and put a 10 in its place. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my whole numbers. I have 4 minus 1 equals 3, equals 2. Well, I know that 4 minus 1 does not equal 2. It equals 3, which means that somewhere here this should have been 3 minus 1 equals 2. So they borrowed from that whole. That 2 became a 3, and they added 10 to it. And I know that I would have had to do that because 2 minus something is not going to equal 7. I can't have only $2 and give some away and still have $7 left over. So I know that I had to borrow from that whole. And again, 10 tenths is equal to 1 whole, so now I have 3 minus 1 equals 2. That makes sense. And now I'm doing 2 plus 10, which is 12. So 12 minus something equals 7. 12 minus 5 equals 7. So now I need to figure out something. When I look back at my original numerator, it was in with a 3, and I can't do anything to go from fifths down to thirds. I mean, if I multiply by 2, well, that's not going to work. It's not an even number. I can't divide by 2. I can't divide by anything to get down to 3. So I need to figure out my fraction equivalency. What would I know about 5/10? Oh, I know that 5/10 is actually equal to 1/2. And if I want to go from halves and get that numerator 3, what am I doing to go from 1 to 3? I'm actually multiplying by 3. 1 times 3 is 3. So I need to apply the same thing with my denominator. 2 times 3 is 6. So 3/6 is equal to 5/10 because again, both of them represent 1/2. So my missing denominator is 6. Go ahead and pause this video for a moment and check your work, complete your work over on the right side. Okay, now we're going to look at the next one, and this is another one that I absolutely love because I love working through a challenge. And in this case, it's another one of those multi-select where I have to work through all my possible answer choices and select all the equations that have a value of 7/4. So let me go ahead and put that on a separate sheet of paper because there's no way it's going to fit showing all those works. So I'm going to write an A for answer choice A. And I have 3 halves plus 4 halves is equal to. Well, luckily on this one I already have like denominators, so all I'm doing is adding 3 plus 4 is 7 halves. When I go back to my sheet, my desired answer is not 7 halves, it's 7/4. So A does not work. Okay, let's move on to B. And I can do it on the same line right beside because I still have plenty of space to do that. So B says 1 3/6 plus 2/8. Well, I know that I cannot do that because I don't have like denominators, so I need to find a common denominator. 6 and 8. If I didn't know, I could list my multiples for 6 and my multiples for 8. So I have 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, and let me stop there, and if I need to add more, I can come back and add more. My multiples for 8 are 8, 16, 24, and 32. And so when I'm looking for that common multiple, I look at the bigger number and compare it with the smaller because this is going to have the least amount of multiples. So I have an 8 here, and no 8. 16, no 16. A 24, and a 24. So 24 is my least common multiple, and I'm going to use that least common multiple to create a least common denominator. So I'm rewriting this to go from 6 to 24, and to go from 8 to 24. Now I went ahead and dragged down my whole number because I don't have to do anything with it, and I set both of my fractions equal to 24. So 6 times what is 24? Times 4, I'm going to do the same thing to my numerator. 3 times 4 is 12, which makes sense. 3 6 is equal to 12 24ths. I know that because that's really 1/2. And here I'm going from 8s to 24, so I'm multiplying by 3. Do that to the top as well. 2 times 3 is 6. And so now I can add up my fractions. I have 1 and 18 24ths. Well, I know that the number I'm trying to get is 7/4, which is telling me a couple things. It is greater than 1. So I need to figure out, well, if I get to an improper fraction, is it going to equal 7/4? So I'm going to go ahead and make this into an improper fraction by multiplying my whole number by my denominator and adding that into my numerator. So 18 plus 24. 8 plus 4 is 12. Carry my 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Plus 2, 42. And 24ths. And so now I want to figure out, well, and then go ahead and simplify it. Can I get it down to where I need it to be? 4. 24 divided by what would get me to 4? Divided by 6. So I'm going to divide by 6. 24 divided by 6 will give me that 4. So can I do that same thing with my numerator? Divide it by 6 as well. 42 divided by 6 is 7. So B does work. Boom, check. However, I'm not done because, again, it's a select all. I have to really persevere and work through them all. So now I'm going to move on, and I'm going to go to C. C says an expression is shown below. 8/7 plus 2. Whoops, that's not. I'm calling every day. I'm tired.